Researchers have known for decades that meditation can improve someone's physical and mental health. It can relieve stress, lower blood pressure, and lift someone's mood. But only in the last 10 years have neuroscientists taken a serious look at the changes in brain structure underlying some of meditation's benefits. Like everything else we do, meditation rewires our neural circuits, pruning away the least used connections and strengthening the ones we exercise most. Studies looking for signs of these changes usually focus on mindfulness meditation, which challenges people to keep their attention fixed on their thoughts and sensations in the present moment. Scientists acknowledge that many of these studies are small and not ideally designed, but at this point, researchers have gathered enough evidence to be confident that their findings are not just flukes. Experiments suggest that Buddhist monks have really robust connections between scattered regions of their brains, which allows for more synchronized communication. Expert meditators also seem to develop an especially wrinkly cortex, the brain's outer layer. We depend on the cortex for many of our most sophisticated mental abilities, like abstract thought and introspection. Several studies have confirmed that meditation can increase the volume and density of the hippocampus, a seahorse-shaped area of the brain in the middle of the skull that is absolutely crucial for memory. And although areas of the brain responsible for sustaining attention usually shrink as we age, meditation counteracts this decay. An increasing number of studies show that meditating for as little as 12 to 20 minutes a day for several weeks can sharpen the mind. In these studies, meditators have scored higher on tests of attention and working memory, which is the ability to temporarily store and manipulate information in one's mind. Some lifelong meditators in their 50s and 60s can even outperform 20-somethings on tests of visual attention. So if you're interested in trying meditation, you should probably start as soon as possible. For Scientific American's Instant Egghead, I'm Ferris Jaber.
Just a few months ago, a bunch of scientists, I think in California, had wired some of the, I think it was Buddhist monks, and were measuring their brain activity during chanting and meditation. And they were finding significant gamma waves being emanated from their brain and emotional centers in their brain for peace and love and empathy were lighting up like Christmas trees that they had never seen before outside of drug-induced states. So the conclusion they drew was that chanting and meditation was kind of brain exercise. Curious about what your opinion of that study was, and also what you think the brain's role in any of this is.
No. Some scientists were conducting experiments on frogs, and the way the frogs were leaping. So once they cut off one of the legs of the frog. The frog that was leaping, tree frogs which were leaping about 20 feet. If you cut off one leg, they were leaping only 15 feet. Then they cut off two legs and so they were leaping only 10 feet. They cut off three legs. With one leg it was leaping only 5 feet. Then they cut off all the four legs. Then they concluded, when you cut off all the four legs of the frog, it becomes deaf. So, surface observations are not everything. This is something that you have to know from within. Brain is just body. Yes? Brain is body, isn't it? So certain changes are happening in the body as a result of something else. That result is not the source of what's happening. Certain emotions and other things are clearing up and more peace and compassion and love is manifesting. It is not about compassion, it's not about love, it's not about any of these things. See, what you need to understand is if there is a certain, how would you like to keep your body? Pleasant or unpleasant? Pleasant. If your body is feeling very pleasant, it will be healthy and pleasurable. If your mind is feeling very pleasant, it will be happy. If your emotions are feeling very pleasant, it will be loving, compassionate. If your energies are feeling very pleasant, it will be blissful. So all these are working towards creating a certain pleasantness in all the dimensions of who you are. Because of this, physical body is changing, mind is changing, emotions are changing. But the pleasantness is coming not because of that. That is just a result. Right now, you have glorified love too much because you have not known anything better. People are going about talking as if love is the highest thing, isn't it? Because probably that's the most pleasant thing that they have touched in their life. Love means what? A longing to become one with somebody, isn't it? Yes? Yes or no? This longing to become one with something is what, on the emotional level, you call it love. This longing is always there. With love, it never finds fulfillment. The longing remains. If you intensify the longing, it will become enormous suffering. When moments of oneness happens, it will be great pleasure. When moments of separation happens, it will be great torture. Yes? Is it so? Is it so or no? They have known moments of oneness, which is so valuable to them. They are willing to go through all the torture that comes with it. Yes or no? A few moments of oneness, for that they are willing to go through all the torture. It's worthwhile. So fundamentally what's happening within you is, there is something within you. Wherever you are right now in your life, it wants to be little more than what you are right now, isn't it? Is that so? This is the desiring process. Your desire is not about anything. Your desire is, it wants to expand. Wherever you are, it's not enough. It wants little more, little more, little more. So this longing for oneness, or this longing for including everything as a part of yourself, when it finds a basic physical expression, we call this sex. What you're trying to do with sex is, you're desperately trying to become one with somebody. However hard you try, it doesn't happen. There are moments when it makes you feel like you are one, but the next moment everything is separate, isn't it? If you try this mentally, generally it gets labeled as greed, conquest, ambition. You're trying to include everything as a part of yourself. You want to conquer the world itself. If it finds an emotional expression, we call this love. If it finds a conscious expression, we call this yoga. It is the same longing to include something as a part of yourself, because who you are is not sufficient, isn't it? Why is it that you want to include another person as a part of yourself? Somehow the way you are is not sufficient, isn't it? Isn't it so? There's an intense longing to become one with somebody because the way you are is insufficient. Suppose if you sit here, you are so complete. If you sit here, you are so complete within yourself that you are absolutely blissful by your own nature. Would you be longing to become one with somebody else? Because in your longing and being one with somebody for a few moments, you have known a little bit of bliss in it. That's what you're going after, isn't it? Isn't it so? It's not love that you're going after. Because of love, you found a few moments of blissfulness. That's what you're going after, isn't it so? Yes? Now, it is not ambition that you're pursuing. Because of ambition, when you made certain achievements, when you included something as yours, you felt certain amount of bliss. That's what you're going after, isn't it so? It is not sex that you're going after. In your sexuality, at certain moments, you found certain moments of blissfulness. That's what you're going after, isn't it? So what you're seeking is blissfulness. What you're seeking is not sexuality. What you're seeking is not ambition or things. What you're seeking is not love. All these things have been the different ways of getting there for a moment. Now, for a few moments of blissfulness that you have known, and you know it's not sufficient. Yes? So it's time you approached it consciously. Isn't it time you approached it consciously? That is why Patanjali, I think I told you this on the first day itself. When Patanjali wrote Yoga Sutras, he started Yoga Sutras in a strange way. The first chapter of Yoga Sutra is, and now yoga. Half a sentence. Such a great document on life starts with half a sentence. Because you still believe that if you find a new girlfriend, everything will be okay in your life. If you still believe if you get a raise, everything will be okay. If you still believe if you buy a new house or a new car, everything will be okay, it's not your time for yoga. You've seen all those things and you know it doesn't work. And now yoga. Have you come there?